You're very welcome. Good evening to you, my darling. And I am here this evening to keep you company. Well, you're welcome to the Friends and Family Show. My name is Noyo Kwarti, and this evening we're going to have lots and lots of conversations. So whether you're watching me with your grandma, you're watching with your auntie, you're watching with your kids, you're watching with your parents, we're going to have a super duper night. It is the Friends and Family Show, and for that reason, we're taking it nice and easy, very conversational. We're having so much fun here. One more time, you're welcome to the Friends and Family Show. We'll take a break. When we're back, I'll tell you what this is all about. Welcome back. One more time, you're welcome to the Friends and Family Show. And this is actually going to be one of your best evening shows. Tonight, we're talking about co-parenting and we're talking about single parenting. For that reason, I've got beautiful guests in the studio. Two beautiful ladies and one gentleman, which I will be introducing to you very soon. I've got Karen Ejapon here in the studio. Hi, Karen.
Hi.
And I have Courage in the studio as well.
Hello.
I have with me Caritas, a.k.a. Tatas. You're very welcome, my darlings. And we're talking co-parenting and single parenting. It is actually a topic that is very dear to us. And some way, somehow, it's a bit sensitive as well.
Yeah.
People do not really like to talk about it. People are not too okay with it. People are not really comfortable being tagged either a single parent or probably in a co-parenting situation. But tonight, we're just going to get all the nitty-gritties, all the things that we need to know about it. Make it quite easy, make it quite, friendly for you to accept, because it's probably a situation, either you decided to be in it or it was actually thrown at you at some point in life. For that reason, it is not anything that anybody should be, stigmatized with. So we are getting into this conversation. My name is Noyo Kwarti. You are about to have a super duper time on the Friends and Family Show. You're welcome, my darlings.
Thank you.
So we're doing this thing that at some points we say that it is a bit too, let's not go there. Well, it's with me, but I really don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So, Karen, we're going to be talking about co-parenting with you because you're in that situation.
Yes.
Courage, you're a product of a single parent. You lived either with your mom, you grew up, or dad. Okay. And then Caritas,
mostly with my mom.
Mostly with your mom.
Yeah.
And then Caritas, your mom.
Yeah, my mom.
Because I've seen a lot of posts from you.
My mom.
It is solely your mom.
So my mom.
Okay, so let me start off with you first. How has it been living, knowing that other people live with both mother and father, but you actually grew up knowing just your mother? How has it been? Has it bothered you at some point?
Okay, so let me first of all say that my mother did a good job by letting me meet my father. So I knew my dad. The situation was I didn't live with him. I don't think it was bad. It was bad. I'm a mama with hard labor. I would always call myself because my mom did an amazing job. The only thing that sometimes I did not like is I could sometimes see the stress that comes with being alone and taking care of, your child, not just your child, your sisters as well, because that's what my mom was doing. I live with my mom and her sisters. And I'm so in tune with my emotions that I'm able to pick it up.
Right.
And so I realized it somehow affected me in a way. Outside, I was very, very aggressive. Yeah, especially towards men.
Why?
At an early age. Because I didn't see my dad. He wasn't doing much.
Okay, so before we get into that, at what point did you realize that you weren't in that regular family setting where there's supposed to be a father and a mother? At what age?
Oh, at the age where you start knowing things. If it's 5 years, then it's 5 years.
Right.
I mean, do you know what I mean? If it's 5 years that we realize we start realizing that we are children. Because I mean, between 0 and 4, I don't think you know so much.
Right.
But between 5 and 6, I think you start to see some things. I had always known that, I'm with only my mom.
Your mom.
Yeah, and that was just it for me and her sisters, of course.
So, Courage, and you've also spent time with either your mom or your dad.
Yeah.
Which one, at what point?
I think majority time with my mom.
Your mom.
And some minor time with my dad at the time.
Right.
Even though presently for about 2-3 years continuous, I've been with my dad because my mom is late.
Okay.
Yes, at this time. But I think for me, the realization was not very early because my mom moved on to marry another man.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so
there
I
was
had
still
a
that father
stepfather.
figure.
Until when she was ready to move out of that marriage too.
Wow.
Then she brought me to my auntie's Atema.
Oh.
So it was at that point you realize that, oh, okay, so he's not my dad, you know, per se, and then
That's tough.
the
Yeah.
new reality begins.
Yours like the same
No. I mean, my mom got married later. I was like 21.
when she got married.
Yeah, when she got married again.
Okay, but
so that
you
was like-
I
were
was
zip-zapping
I was
from...
very young at
Very
the time,
young.
yes. But when I was now brought to my auntie's and then to my dad's place in the village, that's when I was like, okay, so this is my dad, you know. But then, much later, I have faint memories of the disagreements leading to day parting and the scramble over me, who keeps me,
Right.
and all of that. The earliest offense, sometimes you wonder where these memories were stored because I was very young.
Very little.
You know, but I think it was my grandmother's funeral, and the family had to now sit to decide that no, he's too young, so let the woman keep him. So I'm sure that was what led me to. But these were memories that were coming up much later when I started processing all of these.
Of life.
Yes.
Okay, so we're moving away from, you know, you living with a single parent. Now let's get to Karen. At what point, no, let me just put this together. Did you actually decide that let me just move away and do this by myself? Was it thrown at you? Was it your own decision? How's co-parenting like?
To be honest with you, I don't think anyone wakes up in the morning and they say, you know what, I'm going to do this by myself.
You know,
because being a parent in itself is hard. You know, even when you have the two in the household, it's hard. Then let alone just
all
one.
by yourself.
Right. So I wouldn't say I chose it. I wouldn't say it was thrown at me. I would just say life happened.
Okay. Okay.
Certain things in life are unpredictable. Okay, we grow up and we have this, you know, we have this plan in our head that we want to live by. You know, we see these programs, you know, like, I don't know, when we're watching Inspector Bediako and all these kind of ones on TV, you have the mom, or even Home Sweet Home.
Yes.
Home Sweet
Home.
Home.
We have that, yes, that setting
You
where
have
there's mother,
the mother, the father, the
children,
kids, they eat on the dining table. You know,
Table.
that kind of thing. You want to emulate that. You want that for yourself. You want that for your kids,
Right.
you know? So you live life like a robot. You're like, I've got to get this, I've got to get this. And then sometimes you get it, but it's just not right.
Okay.
You know, no fault of his, no fault of mine. It just
wasn't right.
wasn't right.
I feel you.
So then now you're left with being parents to a child, and you have to meet each other halfway.
Okay.
And it has to work. You don't have a choice. It has to work. Not for yourself. At this point, you don't matter anymore. You're like at the back.
Okay.
Now is the child. You know,
Right.
you want the child to grow up feeling wholesome. You don't want the child to feel like they lack something. You know,
but
as you said,
before you get to, you know, preparing the child for it, you have to prepare yourself. So how do you prepare yourself for that situation?
there's no such
There's
thing.
no preparation.
There's no
So
preparation.
it just comes. I think
It
there
can't-
should
it's like,
be.
no, it's
There
like
should be
learning on the
some-
job. It's learning on the job. It's like, it's your situation now.
But don't you prepare your mind? Don't you psych yourself into what is about
I
to
think
happen?
that the
there
psyching
should
The
itself
psyche,
will
no.
be to depart from the person, not. It won't be about the parenting.
It won't
much.
be about the
It will be
parenting,
about
'cause-
you first.
Okay.
Before
So that's
the
my
parenting.
question. So how do you prepare yourself moving
honest with
into that
you,
state of, you know,
To be honest with you, it's been probably like 4 years. It's still like a learning process.
okay. Okay.
And you never get it right. It's not like, oh, we sit down and we write down, yeah, we're gonna do it like this, we're gonna do it like that. If she's gonna ask for something, you do it or I do it. You know, it's just sometimes it just flows.
Okay. But how do you
Sometimes
prepare
too,
the
it
child?
doesn't.
What are the
She's too
steps
young.
you- Okay.
For me, the time we separated, she was really young. You can't sit her down and say to her, baby girl, mommy and daddy, you know, we love each other so much and we love you too, but we don't work together. No. I've never had that conversation with her. Funny enough, she's never come up to me to ask me, why are you not married to my daddy?
Okay, how old is she?
She's 7 next week.
Hey.
But
Then
she
alpha.
has,
Yeah.
but she no, mind you, she has asked me a very interesting question, and the day she asked me that question, I was like, is it time?
It's almost.
She's like, mommy, where's your boyfriend?
Oh my God. That's why I said
They asked
Those
all the
ones.
interesting questions.
They have
Like, my
interesting-
heart just like paused. I was like, excuse me? Well,
Yeah.
yeah, what? It's like, yeah, where's your boyfriend? I was like, mommy hasn't got a boyfriend.
But you know, there's definitely going to be a time.
There's going to be a
where-
time. Yeah, there's going to be a
Her
time.
mind-
But
Seven is a good
Her mind is already beginning
It's
to
beginning to
process the
process
context
something,
of
you
it.
know.
Because
Yeah.
she's been
She's-
aware of daddy being around for a
Uh-huh.
while, and now
Yes.
daddy comes and goes.
And then she's seen other people with their,
Together.
together, and then
Right.
she's seeing just me and her. So like, I'm sure she's thinking about it, but she's yet to, fit it all together. But yeah, they're smart kids. Maybe I don't
Yeah.
even need to tell her anything. She'll figure
All
out
right, so
herself.
Tatas, let me ask you this,
Ask me,
because
ask
I've
me.
seen
Ask.
lots of pictures of you and your mom.
My mom, yeah.
So how's this whole thing? Did they actually make you make your mom your best friend? She's your go-to person. How has this actually influenced you
Have
in
a
all your
few.
relationships? Are you getting
Yeah, we
there?
are getting there. I feel like my mom is watching. I can feel it in my. It's that mother-daughter thing. I can feel. I feel like
It's
she's
in your bones. You can
Yeah, I
feel
feel
it.
like she's watching. Has it affected my relationships? Yes, a lot. A lot. It's you see, it's not a place I would even wish for my enemy to be in, to not grow up in what I will call, or what society calls, a functional family.
Right.
I would always say that the only envy or jealousy I have in me is for daddy's girls.
Oh.
That's the. I don't envy
Well, I'm a
anybody's.
serious one.
Yeah, you are. I don't
Granddaughter.
envy anybody's clothes, shoes, nothing. What I would have loved to be is a daddy's little girl.
Girl.
That's it. And when you are growing, or when you're becoming a teenager, that's the critical moment that these things kind of affects you. And I will always say that I give my mom all the props and the credit. My mom did an amazing job. She had to
Right.
work. She had to take care of me. I don't blame her for anything. This is what she had to do. But the other thing that she also did well was, even through that, my mom was very strict. You dare not. And I'm a
Right.
girl, so you can understand what it means to
got her
raise
eyes
a girl.
on you.
Yes, my mom was strict. I know when I'm outside, I know that this thing that everybody's doing, me, I can't do it.
But do you have any time that you can actually remember your mom getting a meltdown or
Oh,
breakdown?
yes. Yes. You know, Joy, we used to listen to Joy FM a lot. My mom's radio was stuck on
Right.
Joy FM, and we would listen to Reverend Owusu Ansa. He used to have this worship session. And one dawn, I was sleeping, and then I heard someone praying and crying. So, it woke me up. And I turned myself to face the wall so she wouldn't see that I'm
awake.
awake.
Seeing her.
Yeah. But I heard my mom praying. And my mom was praying from her gut. I could literally feel the tiredness, the pain, and
Right.
the stress from praying. And I remember, so I woke up and I said, I'm going to see my dad. My mom would never stop you from going to see him or whatever. But I woke up that day, dressed up. I went to see him before I went to school. I was in St. Anthony's. So I went to Dansoman to see my dad, and I was angry. I was furious.
At what age?
Oh, I was a teenager. I was in like
Teenager.
JSS.
Right.
I was furious. Me, I
That
questioned
stage.
my dad. I'm that
That's
child.
the self-realization. You
Yes.
actually know what's
I would
happening.
I questioned my dad. I questioned him. I said, why do you not make an effort to at least,
Help her.
yes, do one or two? Because you see this woman, she's trying. And of course,
Okay.
he doesn't have a...
Now
he
I
doesn't
see your eyes are soaking Let's move away. Let's move away a little from that.
we're
We can
good.
probably
So,
try as much to dive it a little.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit emotional, but I'd want for you to be a part of the show, and you can send us a message. Send your messages through 020-4447-033, and let us know. Probably you're also a product of a single mom or a single parent, or you yourself are probably a single parent or co-parenting. Fill us in some of the things that we haven't spoken about yet. Probably you can just, give us a little hint, and then we'll get into those conversations.
Yeah.
So please join the show. It's very interactive. I'd want for you to send us a message as well. When you do, don't forget to add your name and where you're texting us from. I'll be glad to, address you properly. Well, you're still on the Friends and Family Show. It's getting really interesting here. We're talking about single parenting, and we're talking about co-parenting as well. And we have two, a lady and a gentleman who are products of a single parent, and one that is, dabbling in co-parenting. Well, it gets really tough sometimes, but we have to make it a bit interesting,
Yes.
We've grown past certain stages, and it gets interesting. All right. So, Carriage, how has it been, all these years?
Yes, I think Karen made a statement earlier that
Right.
nobody plans to live life this way.
Yeah.
To either be a single parent, to be in a co-parenting situation, or to be a child in that situation. I think circumstance just leads to that point. And when it comes up, it's about how you man up to it, or woman up to it, whichever the context is. But you realize a certain level of deliberacy will be required.
Right.
I mean, for my early years in school, I bore my stepfather's name.
Okay.
It was at the point of transition that I realized that, okay, so that's not my surname, that's not my father, and all.
Was it tough?
That's not your identity.
I think I've always had a certain kind of functional approach to life.
Okay.
That's me, pragmatic at core. Okay, that was it. That's their decision. Now, this is the reality. How do I make the most out of this? So, I think along the line, I think my mom, she was having difficulties. I mean, there were 4 of us. So
you're the first?
The other 3 siblings, they are my stepfather's kids. But even after the separation, much later, all of us had to be with her.
Okay.
And it gets tough, like she's saying.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
tough.
doing all the work. And so sometimes you see the disappointments and the bitterness and all of that trying to come out of that. What I decided to do, I'll share in none of that.
Okay. But did you become your mother's best friend?
Oh, yeah,
Did you become...
Everybody who knew me called me my mother's boyfriend.
Right. That's what I was coming to, because I know a couple of people who are first boys and they're with their mom. They couple as the mom's husband,
so you become
boyfriend,
father early
right?
To your siblings.
Okay. You are providing?
Yeah, you have to become father to them and husband to your mother.
But that's
Right.
That's a lot.
That is
It's early responsibility, I must say, because even at some point, I remember at a point we were in this house and she was fighting with another tenant. And then I came and I was like, can you stop and go in, because this is not relevant.
Right.
Okay, and she wouldn't listen, so I left. And then next one, she was like, your mother is fighting, instead of you to take her side, and all that. I was like, no. The side I wanted was peace.
But you weren't ready for that.
You are not ready for that, so I leave you, because it means that you can handle it yourself.
Right.
You know, that kind of, but these were conversations that, I mean, I don't think anybody in JHS High School was having this kind of conversation.
I wasn't.
But you have to become that. And then for my siblings, you have to almost become like father, disciplinarian and all of that to keep that balance. So one of the things I did early is to always look for father figures.
Okay.
That's good.
Always look for father figures,
you're
whether in
learning
the
from
church
them.
where I am or in the immediate vicinity where I am. Find some role model of a sort, because early resolve, no child of mine is going through this situation. No.
Nice.
Yeah. That's
So
Nice.
I married very late and all that. And most of it was because of caution, trying not to repeat
What is
some of
happening?
these things.
Okay.
Yes.
Was it difficult for you to move away from your mom? Because sometimes, in that situation, the attachment is very...
I think the context, how do you want to, how do you have to become mature quickly.
Okay.
And so for a man, you needed early independence.
Right.
Yes, so I remember when I moved to university first year, I decided to go solo, to become independent of her, so she would focus on the younger ones.
On the younger ones.
Wow. Yes.
But were you still providing?
Yeah, I mean, several circumstances where you had to chip in something. And there were times too when you had to make sure you were surviving. Yes. And even then she would call, is everything okay? You've not called, you've not asked for anything. Are you okay? I said, no, I'm fine. Focus on
still
the younger
there.
ones.
Wow.
The motherly instinct
Yeah,
still there.
it's always there, you know. But for me, it told me early that, yes, you may turn out fine and all of that, but this is not the ideal.
Right. It's
This is not the ideal.
It's not
And
the ideal, yeah.
what was important to me is how not to carry on some of these legacies. For me, that was the most important thing for me. Okay, you can't control all the factors, but as much as I can, I want to control who I get married to make sure that there is that understanding, and all of that, so that you reduce the possibility of it to the barest minimum.
Right.
To the barest
Right.
minimum.
I agree.
For me,
Yeah.
that was
You
it.
agree?
Yeah. Because it's like I said, it's not something you would want for anybody. Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, it's not a place you wish for somebody. And when he spoke about marriage, it's something that is very key. You do not want your children to experience what you have experienced.
Yeah.
And so you are trying as much as possible to do it right and do it once and for all. Like I will always say, if you're my husband and you are tired today about our marriage, go to bed. Tomorrow we go again.
Continue.
Yeah, we try
Simple.
again.
We go again. It's
We
a
go
new
again.
day.
Sometimes it's easier said than done, you know.
Hey, no, but
I don't
we
want to
have
be. I don't want to be that person that's like in the corner
No,
saying.
but no, it's true.
No, but
It's true.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
marriage is
I
an
agree.
institution.
Yeah.
It takes two people to work at it. But then just sometimes it doesn't serve its purpose. And when it doesn't serve its purpose, you need to understand when to say,
That's it.
And
That one, I agree with you.
Particularly,
on that.
I've met a lot of young men. I mean, young men our generation who believe in hating a woman.
That's crazy.
You know, and it's something that gets to me every time.
Right.
It gets me every time because that kind of environment is dysfunctional.
yeah,
Immediately.
yeah, for
It's
everyone
dysfunctional.
involved. Yeah.
I don't want to, I never wanted to witness my mother being beaten,
Okay, but that's too
Even-
extreme.
That's
even
very
as a
extreme.
child.
Yeah.
You know, and even where it's not physical but it's emotional, we can feel it.
Yes.
feel it.
You can
You
pick
can
the
tell when-
pulse, you
Yeah.
can
You
pick
can
the...
tell.
Sometimes they actually bring the anger to you,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're
yeah,
wondering,
yeah. Parents
what did I
temperament.
do?
Yeah, what did I
I'm
do?
only asking you, why are you shouting?
It's like, yeah,
you know, so
it's a
sometimes
thing.
what's most important, and even as a child, I mean, when you become aware in the context when things are difficult, you're like, okay, in the stepfather situation, you're like, why is he being so hard on me? You know, so you
Okay.
begin to observe certain things that makes you begin to question things, even without being fully aware. You know, so if you go back, but and I always say I'm unapologetically a Christian.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me,
Be outside.
unapologetic. Go back all the way to Genesis 1:26 to 29 and Genesis 2:24.
What's there?
What's there? What's there?
Yes. What's there?
Yes.
Go there.
What's there?
You know, 1:26 to 29 is where the mandate of man was given when he created man. He said, male and female created he them.
Okay.
So at a point, my understanding is that even when it was only Adam manifested, within Adam was the feminine side. It means that for a complete function, you need both.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in chapter 2, verse 18, thereabout, when the separation was done, then verse 24, it says, for this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave. And that's the word that catches my attention.
One more
Cleave
time. Cash.
to his own wife. And both will become one flesh.
On that cleaving moment, we want to cleave to a break. We'll go for a commercial break. We'll be right back. You're still on the Friends and Family Show. My name is Noyo Quarter. Let's take a breather. We'll be right back. Yeah, welcome back to the Friends and Family Show. And we are live on ChannelOne TV. My name is Noyo Quarter. You're very welcome one more time. I have in my studio here Caritas, who is joining us talking about single parenting and being a product of a single parent. I have Courage as well in the studio, and there's Karen in Japan, who is also like talking about this, about single parenting and co-parenting as well. So this conversation is a bit dicey. It's a bit, emotional. I'm allowing all the emotions to flow this evening. So if you're out there watching us, you can actually be part of the show. So send us all your messages, your concerns, your contributions. We will be glad to dissect, talk about it. With the parts where we have to make fun, we'll make fun. The part that we have to be serious, we'll be very serious about it. But it's a very touchy situation. So if you're in it, we'll say kudos to you. It's not easy, but yeah, you can do that. All right, so I've got some, more grease to your elbows. Well, we've got some messages for our guest in-house. I have one to Karen, I have one to Characters and Courage. So I'll take the first one, which is for Karen. Okay. And this message is from Brenda, who's watching us in Harcho.
Hi,
she
Brenda.
says, Karen, what is your go-to coping mechanism for days when everything is going wrong, especially knowing that you don't have a partner to cry on?
I have a pillow.
You have a pillow.
Oh yeah, I cry a lot, and I think my daughter has grown up seeing me cry a lot. I just did not know how to stop. I just keep going. My emotions come and I'm just, I'm shouting, I'm screaming. I don't hit her, but then with time, I realized, who am I angry with? Who am I angry with? It's not her. It's not her dad. It's me. So I had to take a step back, I had to, go for a little therapy, small one, not plenty.
A little therapy, that's all right.
Small one, got crazy.
All right, Curtis. Did you see your mom do the same? Cry, bring out emotions?
My mom is a hardcore.
Right.
Yes, my mom is a fancy woman, very hardcore. But I could see through her.
That she was broken.
Yes, and then sometimes I could see the transference of aggression to us. The yelling. Sometimes I know she doesn't want to yell. She doesn't want to yell at us
But
for
that's not
anything.
her.
Yeah.
That's not her. Or what she's yelling about is very trivial, but she's angry.
Yeah,
Madam. Hey. She's angry. And so, I saw that with her. I saw her. I saw my mom through all her stages. And that's why I say all the time that I do not have a role model. My mom is my only role model. I do not know what anybody has been through outside. I don't know what your story is like. I didn't witness. What if what you're telling me is not the truth? But you see my mom,
Firsthand.
I witnessed it. And so that's my role model. So I witnessed my mom.
Courage, you?
Something interesting happened. Even though my mom moved on to marry and then later left that marriage, it seemed her forever love was my dad, who was the first.
First love.
Yeah, so
As all fellas
we
love.
had a situation where at a point
Soulmate.
my other siblings thought she liked me more than them, or she loved me more than
Were you the
them.
only child of your mom
Yes.
and your dad?
Yes,
Okay.
and still the only child of my dad. He didn't marry again.
Okay.
Oh, then you really loved your mom. It's
So-
a love story.
Yeah, so right now you have my siblings who think that because of her criticism of their father and profound commentary about my dad made it look like, okay, so you prefer his father to our father and all of that. That's why I keep saying that no matter the context, it's never the best of situations.
Okay.
Yeah, so at a point you had, when we were a bit younger, and JHS that she says about, you had some of my siblings who thought they had to do like rivalry for their father.
Okay.
I
So
saw
they will
through
do all
it.
the fights. They'll see you, they said they're not talking to you.
So what I had
Hey,
to do was to get bigger,
and do better.
ignore it completely. Completely ignore it so that we could still keep.
Karen said something.
It cannot be me.
I think one of the things that's helped me is, and it's also the situation brings out some maybe aspects of you that become assets. I'm not very emotional in the sense of that, like crying. I don't cry.
Is it a man thing?
It's not
I have friends who do.
They cry.
They cry.
Or they like
they have
Just
big
that for
emotions.
They
me,
wail.
yeah, for me, they
there's a difference.
How does
The one
it
who's
go?
boy legs.
Show us.
No,
But then the
Can
one that
never
you,
be there like
you know,
this.
it
Can
can
be
never be
there.
like that.
For me, the coping mechanism was always focusing on what matters,
Okay.
Hey,
what needs to be done.
this is drastic.
And once you're busy on what needs to be done, then all of that go in the background.
Hey, that's a bit robotical because
Very
I
much
know
so.
I can't do like that.
Very.
Like, so, because one, you have to be strong for everyone.
Okay,
Right.
You are the
that's
first.
there as well.
Okay.
That's
You-
right.
you ha-
Okay.
That's
and
fair.
I've realized that even in the ideal home, the man brings stability. Stability. So you can, something may happen when the mother is all crying and worried and all that. Hey, have you called the doctor? He says, relax.
Relax.
Take
True.
your time.
Take your time.
All is well.
It's true.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that assuring voice of saying that, no, don't worry,
Don't
everything
worry,
is
everything
fine.
is
It
fine.
brings that stability
And calm.
that is required, which reduces actually the extent to which you even go with your breakdown. You know,
True.
and all of that. So I found it very
Okay, so now this
Interesting.
question is from Jay Singh in Takrady, and it goes to Caritas and Courage, as you are product of single parents. Okay, so did you experience or any bias growing up? Right, I was always sidelined. My other children who had perfect families, even my teachers would sometimes imply that my mother, my siblings, and I were not worthy of attending family day activities. So do you experience being sidelined because you're with your mom?
No, if ever I felt like I was being sidelined, my personality, I have a big personality, so that's the reason why someone would sideline me. I do not think I would have stood for someone to sideline me because of my mother.
Right.
That's a very drastic thing.
It is.
And if you mention my mother in anything, immediately all the hair on my skin will
raises
just
up.
yes.
It's
Thank
going
you.
to be
Yeah.
Avengers. Assemble.
So if you either deal with me as a person and not include my mother, or we have a problem. So if ever I felt like I've been sidelined, which I have been sidelined a couple of times. If ever I felt like that, it's because of my personality. My personality will put me in trouble. It will carry me. It will take me. But it will always be because of my personality. But for
never-
my mother, we attended family day gatherings at church as a family.
But you are a family.
We are.
Like, why?
Because
why
And we were all
society have
women.
to-
My
yeah.
mom and her sisters and myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, they braid my hair for me and carry me. What are you
Nice.
talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's, I've got one more to Karen.
Yay.
Do you face judgment in spaces like church or even from family? And I have stopped going to church because a Sunday school teacher once called my son a bastard child.
Sunday school.
A Sunday
teacher.
school teacher,
Yeah.
come on, in what capacity or what right does a Sunday school teacher need to say that to a child? As I said earlier, you don't wake
That's-
up one
that's
morning
not-
and
no,
choose
that's not right.
and choose this life. You know, Christians.
Very hard.
To be honest with you, I am not proud to say this, but I don't go to church. Not that I feel like I'm gonna feel like an outsider. Like there is a church I do attend from time to time. It's a lovely community. I've never felt out of place. I just choose not to go to certain gatherings, certain family gatherings by choice because I know Ghanaians in general are wired to be highly judgmental.
Right.
They might not be saying it to my face, they might not be saying it behind my back, but I
But
know
then
they're
they're
talking
talking.
about it. Do you understand? Like side comment or like, hey, Nana yehu bane papa cheo.
So they're asking you indirectly.
Indirectly, they're
Where's
asking.
the
Do you
father?
understand? Yeah, where's the father? Like, you know, but no one will actually come to you and sit you down and be like, oh, baby, are you okay? Are you coping? Like, because we all know it's hard. Regardless, it is hard. So just that, instead of like calling that child, let's say the Sunday school Sunday school teacher calling the child a bastard, the best thing would be, are you okay at home? Like, you know, do you need any assistance? Like,
Yeah.
maybe the mom is too tired to do reading time with the child. You can use that time to help
Agree.
the mother. It takes a community and a village. Everyone keeps saying that it takes a village to raise a child. So why is
Right.
it that one person is single doing it?
They should report
And
it to
They
the
should,
church.
yeah. They shouldn't take
I-
it lightly.
They should report it
I
to the
think
church.
that such toxic and very terrible comment is coming from
Yeah.
a Sunday school teacher
That's what I mean.
and to a child.
To
To a
To a
child.
child.
To a
That is a
child.
no-no. And I
Right.
think it also brings to mind the fact that our churches need to become community again.
Listen,
Our churches need to become community again. That
Judgment is too high.
Yeah, that is really lacking. And if you look at, even for the function of family, in Ephesians chapter 5, Apostle Paul says, dwell in love, dwell in light, dwell in wisdom. This is the context of that. And that is the context of the church. You know, and that's why the church became functional in society because it was, how do you call it? Should I say, a foundation that everybody could rest on. You know, so even when family rejected you, when there was somewhere to go to where you could call home, and that was the church. It became like a family. So you have a pastor there, an elder there who could become like father to the children.
Right.
Because I've had situations where people are in terribly abusive environments. And in as much as I hate anything called divorce, and all that, you realize that separation was the best at the time for the preservation of life.
Right. Because there's too much basketballs.
Too much, and so it's better the person is separated from that environment than for her to lose her life. But when she's separated and she has the children, she'll get overwhelmed. So how does the church come in to support? And that's where you need the elders and the deacons to play that role.
Right.
You know, where there's support until functionally they can be put back together. But you don't have that.
We're talking about the church. What about like your immediate family?
Well,
if your family cannot do this, how can the church do this for you?
You realize that usually the nature of the development and how all of these end up, it never happens with the innocence of the families. There's always some level of complicity, some level of involvement, and all of that. So sometimes they are not the best to rely on. Because sometimes your immediate family is looking at you as a failure. In this family, we don't divorce. You are the first person to have divorced.
So you stay in.
Exactly. You know, and so when that happens, what do you do?
You hide.
You hide. How do you hide?
Why do you hide?
You hide from society. You hide from everything.
And that also becomes dangerous because you become isolated.
You become isolated.
And the devil likes solitude.
Right.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. That was my first coping mechanism. Like draw away from everyone.
It was needed at that time, so it's fine. But it shouldn't be too consistent.
Do you still go on to do that? Don't you go for gatherings? Do you stay away, or you decide which one to go?
I decide. I'm highly selective.
Which is good for our age now. You have to be selective of where you go to.
Exactly.
That one I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So I'd want for us to listen to this. And we're supposed to have a single father on the show, but he wasn't able to show, so he had to send us a message. We would take that message. Let's take a listen to the side of all of being a single parent and co-parenting issue from another perspective, from a single father.
I don't even know how you and your producers have convinced me to tell this story. I still struggle with it. In fact, the pain and shock are still fresh for me. On that day, my wife said that she was going to the salon, just the salon. That was a Saturday morning. The kids had just eaten. Papa Kweku, our son, who was 3 years old at the time, was dancing around in his Spider-Man pajamas. And the baby mommy, for about 8 months old then, she was asleep on my chest. So my wife, I don't want to mention her name for obvious reasons now. She kissed all of us goodbye. I was supposed to be home for most of the day, so I was okay staying with them so that she could have a personal time. I thought nothing of it. I even joked, "Don't come back with purple hair." She smiled and she said, "I'll be quick." Would you believe that was the last time I saw her? No call, no message, her phone off. Her family also didn't know anything. Or maybe they just didn't want to say. To be honest, I don't know what to believe. At first, I thought something terrible had happened. I called the hospitals. I went to the police. I even searched the big gutters in Accra. My friends, her friends, they all got involved. We posted flyers on social media, published them in newspapers. I mean, I did everything and anything possible. I was that desperate. But 2 weeks passed. There was still no news from her. One evening, I just knew it in my spirit. She wasn't missing. I just knew that she had left us. I didn't have time to be angry. I had 2 children who needed me to be there for them every hour, every minute. My life changed at once. It wasn't easy now. changing diapers at 2 a.m. while my son cried for money, bathing two fussy babies before work, carrying mommy for my back while holding Kweku's hand through Makola, just so I could buy things for the house. It took a while for me to find help. My mom was already late by then. I had to get a more flexible job and take a lower pay for some time. It broke me, but it also built me up. You know, our society doesn't prepare men for this. People will stop me on the street saying things like, "Where's their mother?" And they will say it with suspicion. Some even had the guts to ask me, "What did you do to her?" They couldn't imagine that she left. But sometimes it's we the fathers who stay. I remember once at the clinic, a nurse asked me if I was really the children's father. She said, "Are you sure you know what formula to buy?" I said, "Madam, I don't know, but I will learn." And I did. I had to. I learned how to plait my daughter's hair, watching all these YouTube videos. I learned to discipline them. I learned how to comfort them. I was all they had, you know. There were nights when the children were asleep and I'd cried into a pillow. I was afraid that they would hear me, and I was lonely. I'm a man, you know. I couldn't just move with any woman because of the safety of my children. But now, when Kuku draws a picture of our family, he draws just the three of us, smiling. He says, "Daddy, you are my hero." He is now 9 years old, and Mami Fua will be turning 7 in a few months. To every single parent out there, whether mother or father, you are not alone. Your love is enough for the children. You just be strong and pray. You can do it. And if you're a man who's going through it, hiding your tears behind a beard and deep voice, it's okay. Don't give up.
All right. So it's getting a bit emotional in the studio after
No, she's the one crying.
Ugh. Now it's crying because
because I'm a mother and I know how
okay, we need tissues, guys.
how tough it is to take care of children by yourself. For it to be a man who's actually not wired to do all of these things, to actually do it by themselves.
I think it's just,
That's
it's not
fine,
even just a man, just anyone in general. Like, it is hard.
Yeah, I felt it when he said,
It
as
is
a
hard.
single parent, your love is enough for
It
your
is
child.
enough. It has to be enough.
It has to be.
Because if not, where's the child going to get it from?
Yeah. I could see my mom in that sentence.
You know, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be enough.
Her love was
Now
enough.
why am I the one crying when you were
I'm not crying. Me, I'm not
Why?
crying.
I told you you're the one crying.
I'm not. I think
Please
I'm
give me
not
the
crying.
tissue.
I think I'm not crying because
Tatas is crying. I'll have my tissue for you.
I'm
Tatas.
holding myself not to cry because I can easily just.
Tatas.
I'll
Here
just-
you go.
I can easily cry.
And I agree why. I guess why he's not
Should I
crying.
give you some?
I think it's important Tatas is not started crying yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it feels like if she starts,
Yeah,
September
I'll
show.
win over all of this. So I
That's
have
ambitious.
to be strong. The story is intense. To me, it's intense.
It is.
Mekwaba, you know,
And that's
mekwaba,
it.
and that's it. That's like premeditated. I'm sorry. That's almost like you prepared to do this to the
But
people.
that's not
to
the
them.
right way to walk away.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You know, I always say that if you do not like a certain situation anymore, boldly
yourself out of
talk
it.
yourself. Tell the people and walk away. It's better.
Yeah.
I
It's
think-
way better.
I think the reason why mostly it's not, they are unable to approach it that way is because they know what they are doing is wrong.
They do.
Yesterday I saw a story online, and it was actually a video.
Right.
You know, a lady left 19 years of marriage, 3 kids, just to try another man.
I'm sorry, what?
19 years of marriage with 3
People
children.
know what they are doing. I say this on
Does
my
it try
Instagram.
another
What was she going to look for?
And whatever she was hoping, she didn't get it.
She didn't get
So
it.
she
came
coming
back?
She said she couldn't go back, so now she's single, or she's.
With the kids or just by herself living her
she
single
go
life,
with the
her
kids?
best life?
Well, those details didn't come
Oh,
out.
okay.
You know.
She didn't move with the kids.
No, I don't think so. But she was quickly disappointed on the greener side. And that points to something that whatever the context of your situation is, particularly if it's not one that is abusive and threatening your life, you'd realize that the path of sacrifice is always the best.
That's what this man did for his children.
Yeah, the path of sacrifice
No,
is
but you
always the
can't
best.
leave them as well.
You can't just leave them.
Yeah.
I can't leave them as
I
well.
remember very young
you
when
know-
my mom left, and it was a similar thing my mom did. Up and left. I knew that he couldn't take me away because my father would not have it.
I will not agree.
I was not yet one. So my dad carried me to my grandmother's place, and it was my young auntie who was a teenager then who was taking care of me until the family sat and disagreed that, no, I'm too young, so I have to be here.
Yeah.
So sometimes the context also matters. She knows that, well, if I go with these kids, this guy will come hunting for me, you know. And yeah, this is his side of the story, just for balance.
Yeah,
Yes, we don't know
her
the
side.
Okay, we don't know
Maybe
her
she
side.
was
Side.
fleeing death. And you know, when it comes to the point of telling the story, I think we are wired to tell the story to make ourselves look good.
Look good.
Standard.
Look good. So it's always important that that balance is brought
There's
in.
that balance.
Okay.
Yes.
So we've got
Yeah.
some more messages. One for us to talk about them. So good evening. My name is Patrick from Dansoman. I wouldn't wish this for anybody. Born to a Ghanaian mom and a Liberian dad. You can imagine. I lost my dad at the age of 5, which I had to come live with my aunt here in Ghana. Very terrible experience, and it's still affecting me.
Living with people.
Living with people.
I have always said that
that-
my children will not live with anybody. You know, my mom traveled when I was in SS2. Yeah, SS2. For a young teenager, the sound
was
of my
where-
mom traveling
Thank you.
meant that I'm gonna look good.
Everything.
Okay, thank you. Abo Treba. That was it. Abo Treba. That was it for me. But living with people who do not understand you, or who don't understand how your mom brought you up, and now you have to prove yourself to them, was the most difficult experience for me. I have a lot of male friends. Wired to have male friends, I'm sorry, but that's my lifestyle. I do have a lot of male friends, and I have absolutely nothing sexual to do with them. Zilch. It is just platonic. Do you know how I had to explain myself? You know, because I grew up seeing my mother's best friend was a man. And they were cool and it was nice.
Right.
My best friend is a guy. Till today, my best friend is a guy. But I have boys.
But it's not a Gen Z bestie.
No. Me, my best
We are
friend.
millennials.
No, millennials. I'm sorry. No, but I have
you and who?
boys. Hey. But I have boys.
yourself.
I have boys I hang with, and I'm everybody's baby. And there's nothing. Most of them are married. I'm everybody's baby.
So you see the desire for daddy's girl.
Yes, it's there.
So
She's admitted
found
it.
a way of
Yes,
getting it.
From the
I
male
get
friends,
it. My
right.
male
You
friends,
know.
They will
take your
pamper you.
take your shout outs on this show because child, I'm pampered. Okay.
All right, so let's
So,
take more
yeah.
messages. And I'm AC from Kaswa. Hi, Noyo. Hi, darling. I'm a single parent with a 10-year-old son.
Wow.
I want your guests to advise me on how to manage to maintain a healthy work-life balance while raising my child alone as a corporate woman. So balancing work, personal life,
And
home,
parents.
Yeah.
taking care of the child.
So, about a couple of weeks ago, I was scrolling through my Instagram, and I came across this page that they host friendship meetup groups
Okay.
on
No, say that again.
Tuesdays.
Friendship.
Friendship
Meetup
meetup. It's not a
groups.
dating group. It's a friendship meetup.
Why are you smiling, Courage?
group.
When she
No, I
said it's
think-
not a dating, why are you smiling?
No, because that's the
In
first thing people would.
2025, it's a very important clarity.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
that's why
okay.
I was.
Okay,
It's
you
true.
know,
It's true.
Yeah.
So friendship.
friendship. So it's after work. You know, they meet in a restaurant. You have people from different. Okay, you do a questionnaire. You answer a questionnaire, and then that's how they place you in the
In a
right
particular group.
Group.
Okay.
Yeah. So the group is like about 6 people. So they have these cards like icebreaker, like questions and stuff, and then you just
play question cards.
Question cards, and then by like 30 minutes in, you feel like you've known these people for like the longest time.
Okay.
And it's
Mutual
different
understanding.
because in this day and age, if you want to make friends, you have to meet them on social media. You know, we're
True.
out of touch with
people.
Yeah.
So as a single mother by herself, it's hard. You know, for me,
10-year-old son.
to have, with a son, a 10-year-old, look, there are times you would leave that 10-year-old at home and go to the market and whatnot. In this day and age, you can't do that. Do you understand? So you'd have to find like someone to hold your child for you, even if it's just one day in a month.
And
baby
let
girl,
your hair
and let your hair
down.
down. One day in a month. Let someone take that baby boy for you. Someone you know you can trust.
Yeah.
That boy is safe. When you're out there having fun, you're not thinking, let me check my cameras or let me call guys, give me a second, let me check. No, you know your child is safe, so you can have some me time.
It will change
It would,
everything.
look, it's like a reset. Like, let me tell you, there are days, I'll get a little bit of excess money. Then I'll just go to...
that's the two no money.
Then I'll go to the spa, right? Oh, yeah. I get home and I'm like a butterfly. Like, you know, I'm like, baby girl, come to mommy, come for love. Like,
Hakuna Matata.
you see what I'm saying?
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So, baby girl, like, dedicate one day. You know, like, you can, I mean, afterwards, like, I can drop the meetup group and you can try and get it from them. I have attended myself. I'm not going to lie. It was a good thing for me. I would advise it to anyone, you know. As I said, I have struggled to come out. So for me, it helped me. I was with a bunch of people that did not care, you know, if I've had a failed marriage, if I have a child and I don't have a man at home.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cared. They just wanted to know me, you know, and they're asking me questions and I'm like, me? You want to know about, you know? So like I would say, you know, just
Have me time.
have me time. Like,
I have a lot of me time.
you know, and about childcare too. Childcare is a
She said
good.
she has a lot of me time.
Yeah, I have a lot of me
What do you
time.
do?
Hey.
What do you do?
Yeah, I do a lot of things. I can do a lot of things solo. Watch a movie solo. Go to the movie
Ride
solo.
And
I ride solo. Go to the restaurant solo. When I was in dating, that's what I was doing. Even now.
Are you really trying to tell us something? She said when she was.
When I was in dating.
No,
When I was in dating, I was
you're
doing
saying
that.
something.
no, you're
I-
saying something.
I think that's
No,
the
let me
second
finish.
clue.
You didn't let
When
me
I
finish.
spoke about the importance of getting it right, you know, it piqued her interest. And then
Yeah.
when she
Yeah,
wasn't
really
dating,
trying to
so-
tell us
No, what I'm saying is, I used to have solo stuff, do stuff.
Used to.
Keyword is used.
But now you
But
don't do solo
now,
stuff. Is that
no,
what
even
you're
now,
saying?
let me
Even
say
now.
that I still do solo
But
stuff.
minimal.
But it's minimal.
Yeah.
I need to enjoy, please. Life is for the living.
Life
so,
is fleeting. So
to be honest, she should have a lot of me time.
lot of me
Right.
I
time.
wish she loved reading. I would have said take some time off.
Go
Sit
to
at
the
a very
beach.
quiet place.
Or somewhere.
Read a book.
But as
Have a
as
good
mother,
meal.
like, and you don't have someone holding your child for you, you can't just up and go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
You
You
know-
need to find someone. That's the right point.
So for me as well,
Nice.
I found someone. I give my daughter to her. My daughter is safe. Like if let's say I have to go to work, and you know it runs over and is late. She can sleep over. She offers that service, and I know my daughter is safe. It's
All
like
right.
a second home. Oh, I mean,
So no,
carry.
make
I like his Robert Samba.
You want to come back?
But
Yeah, you're
a
coming
quick
back.
one. For a 10-year-old, I think it's time to introduce some male role models
In his life.
into his life.
Right.
It's very,
Okay.
very important at age 10. Very soon he'll be 13.
And then teenager.
So by that time, there should be somebody
Okay,
he's
so
confident
now that we're
in.
getting into all of that,
For
you
that
would have to
guidance.
come and explain that, okay? Well, we've had
Okay.
super duper fun on the show today, and I want to thank my guests for coming through. Caritas, hi darling.
Hi, darling.
Thank you very much, Courage. And
Absolute
to my girl Karen, thank
pleasure.
you very much for coming through. So we'll be back
The-
tomorrow,
the
same time,
cry
6
partner.
to 7
Oh, the
p.m.
great partner.
We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be talking about something else, and then we're spanning throughout the week from Monday to Thursday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. My name is Noyo Quarter. It has been the Friends and Family Show. My love to you at home. I'll be back tomorrow. Mwah.